All right. Well, welcome to our team call. What is today's date? January 19th. We got to log this entry. No, I'm kidding. Tonight, a lot of what I have to share is mostly from a podcast that I listen to. And Carrie's going to be like, yeah, I knew she'd bring this one in because I couldn't stop talking about it before. But it's full of goodness and aligns with everything that we are wanting to do. So, first of all, change is good and needed, especially if what you've been doing isn't getting you to your goal in a sustainable way, right? Or maybe looking at if what you've been doing that got you to your first goal, whether that's your rank up or whatever goal you want to set right there, if what worked to get you there isn't working to get you to your next, then something's got to change. We need fresh and new. Don't ever be afraid to reevaluate and sit and think about what could be tweaked and changed. And that's the mode that we are greatly in right now, because we want to bring fresh and new and laying a foundation more for a long-term, sustainable, fluid process for our team in full, so that it's more sustainable. Okay. It's not like, oh my gosh, I can't keep up with this. It's sustainable. So I'm still approving people, so I'm kind of stalling and rambling as they get in here. Okay. So, what this podcast is called is from Craig Groeschel. If you want to look him up, I recommend any of his podcasts. Your most focused year yet is what this podcast was. I listened to this and I was like, what? Good. Ooh, good. Ooh, that's good. And I listened to it 4 more times in a row or 3 that day. And again last night. So 3 things that will help you have the most focused year yet. You guys might want to take notes, but I can also send you the podcast and the leader's guide that has it in there. So let me know if you want that. Okay. So number 1, clearly define your wins. What is a win for you? And this is, you guys have to think for yourself. Okay. Apply it to where you're at in what you're wanting to achieve in life and Plexus. Anytime that we are talking about goals, you have to make Plexus fit into your life. Plexus is not to take over your life, okay? It's just a piece that fits really well in there. So clearly define your wins. Define what a win will look like for you at the end of the day, the week, the month. I'm going to toss in quarter because sometimes you can go based on quarters, or the year in full. What will your win look like? So in order to define it, you can't have this broad type of picture, because how do you narrow that down to be able to know where to focus to make it happen? You don't. You just kind of flop and flail throughout. Yeah, I'm running after it. I'm going. And it doesn't fall into place like it should. So, you need to know what it is and when you need it by. So if you have a goal like I want better health or less stress or more time off, you need to break it down even further than that. That's too broad. So better health. Okay. Think I'm going to change my eating habits by reducing sugar. If you need to start that, okay, tomorrow, I'm going to do that tomorrow. Or maybe you need to go, I'm going to do it this next week. Or maybe you're go big or go home and you're like, this whole month, I'm going to kick sugar or greatly reduce it without eliminating in full. Narrow it down to a specific that you're going to be able to stick to, okay? Otherwise, say for example, you have less stress. First establish what's creating that stress. You got to do a brain dump, all the factors, And then you have to define what steps need to happen to reduce it so that you can clear your head, pull down those levels, and allow clarity to happen again, right? Peace and calm. So along with those, along with that less stress, I'm going to add in don't hustle. This is something that for those of you that have listened to the Kristen Boss podcast, yes, don't hustle. You need to pause, evaluate, and reflect, just like Jessica was saying, before you act. See, you did it right. That way you have that, this is what I'm doing, clarity. It brings clarity when you take the time to think it through and make your plan and know what steps have to take place next. So, a quote that he said, you cannot do what you don't define. Very true. You really think about it. So when you feel like you need to hustle and hurry, ask yourself, does this action come from a place of lack, scarcity, or fear? And if it does, that's when it's called hustle. And I actually, hang on. Oh, I thought my phone just died and I was going to be so sad. Listen to the definition of the word hustle. A couple different definitions here. Force someone to move hurriedly or unceremoniously in a specified direction. We don't want to hustle people. Or obtain by forceful action or persuasion. Never call your business a side hustle again, please. Okay. Or you can apply it this way. It's busy movement and activity. You don't want busy work. You want productive work. And productive work is a process. So when we work with more heart than hustle, that's when we build trust by people. When you are you. You're not working from a place of, I got to make this happen. I got to make this happen. Oh man, the end of the month. No more. We have to lay it all out. And it will happen as we put in the proper steps and work with calmness and from our heart. People are going to see that. I mean, they're going to want more to come to you and ask questions because they're going to see your heart is more than just pushing what you have onto them. This applies in more than just a network marketing business. It's your opinions, your beliefs, all of those things. When we share, we can share what we believe and what we have, but don't push it on others because you can't force others to take it and want it for themselves. They have to see the value. So clearly define your wins so you're not feeling the need to hustle or feel scattered and overwhelmed. Okay. I can tell I don't speak as much as I used to because I'm nervous right now. Weird, right? I think I just want to get all of these favorite points across. Okay, number 2, distance the distractions. This is a huge one. And I know it's not just for me. Like, how many times are we talking about the noise going on around us? Not just in 2020, but noise of life. Okay, I'm kind of done with the whole, these current times that we're in. Let's just keep going with life and living how we are supposed to live and stop letting that weigh us down. We aren't denying that it's there still. We're just finding other things to focus on, right? So there's 2 types of distractions that most leaders will struggle with. So the first one is cognitive. It cripples concentration and production. One of the greatest distractions that we have, guess what it is? You guys can all guess what it is. It's our cell phone. our cell phone. So the average person touches their phone over 2,600 times in 24 hours. Okay, that's the average person. Then the individual that does all the things on their phone, for example, this girl right here who checks everything on there, 5,400 times is our touch average of our phone every single day. That's gross. That's like, I don't want to touch my phone again. That just, oh, that's way too many times in a day. Not to mention, it really needs some sanitation right now. Okay, so as a leader, you will never make a big difference when you are distracted by small things. Want me to say that one again? I'll say it again for you because I needed to hear it a couple times. As a leader, you will never make a big difference when you are distracted by small things. That can be anything. That comes in with the unmanaged mindset. We have to make sure that we are focusing on what needs to be focused on. So how do we stop those cognitive distractions? You need to create a distraction-free work zone, right? Knowing, this is what we were just setting up on our work Zoom, knowing what your day is, where can you fit in a work time where you can focus without distractions? Whatever your work looks like for that day, where are you going to fit it into your day or your week? That's where the workflow and the daily rhythm are so important to implement. And that takes time to figure out. You might not figure it out the first time you jot it down, but you will figure it out if you are relentless in knowing that you're like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep trying different things until I find what flows for me. And it will benefit you. Your whole life will flow a whole lot better. So the other distraction is called opportunity. It's apparently good opportunities that rob leaders of the best and greatest impact. So that can be something that is really good, but it might not be the best decision that you need to focus on right now. So true success isn't about doing more, it's about doing more of what matters. Let me find this. I forgot to write this down in my notes. I like defining words and breaking them down because it really makes things come to life for me. So when he did that with the word distraction, okay, what are distractions? Can you hear my dog in the back? Dang it. Thunder. What I saw Carrie laughing and I'm like, she hears him. Okay, what are distractions? Distraction, it's a pulling apart, a separating, a drawing of the mind in different directions, mental confusion, or mental disturbance. Those are distractions. That's what they are. What they do, distractions divide heart, they disengage your mind, distort perspective, discourage your soul, disrupt priorities, and destroy leadership. Distractions are a legitimate issue that we have got to distance ourselves from. Okay, moving into number 3. This one I love. I'm learning to love, I should say. Obsess over the process, not the results. So often we are like, I'm going to hit diamond and I'm going to do it this month, even though I have like however many things to go between there. I'm going to do it. I am. Okay, so what's your game plan? We have to give ourselves realistic, achievable goals and steps to make it happen. You can have a timeline to achieve that, but right now, what is that first step? What is that first goal that can make you go, got it? Okay, what's next? You have to set smaller goals towards the big one. So, okay, you don't get results by focusing on results. You get results by focusing on the actions that get results. Fall in love with the process. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to read this part from his notes. So I'll reread it. You don't get results by focusing on results. You get results by focusing on the actions that get results. Most leaders obsess about outcomes and undervalue processes. Good outcomes follow good processes. So here's why that statement is so freeing. You can't control every outcome. No one saw the pandemic coming. Some businesses were thrust into overdrive as a result, which I can say ours were, right? We went into overdrive, while some were driven into bankruptcy. You can't control your competition and you can't control the economy, but you can control your attitude, your focus, your effort, and your actions. The right process will eventually lead to the desired outcome. So let's stop that hustle, right? We're going to stop that and we're going to slow down in the process so that we can be more interested in our people. And we can ask good questions, not rushed, hurried questions, but be interested. What is that line? Be more interested than interesting. Because people want to be heard. People want to know that they are seen. People want to be valued. So if you give them that, they're going to give you their attention because they feel special. So part of the process that I see is, along with that, listening and showing interest and asking good questions. It's helping your customers and team members to fall in love with the process that they have to go through in order to get to their end result. Whether that's with their health or whether that is with the business. It's our responsibility to take time with them to talk through what their goals are, and then to give them some insight, a vision of what it needs to look like. One of the things that we need to master is giving realistic expectations to those that are interested in becoming part of Plexus, as a customer or as an ambassador. Realistic, as in, it's gonna take time if you want weight loss, but these are the steps that I will help you with that will work towards that end result. These are the lifestyle things that you can add with the supplements that will work towards that end result. We need to master adding in changes to lifestyle with the supplements that we recommend to, because those are the secret sauce outside of supplements. If people are only taking supplements, they're not going to hit results very fast at all. Not at all. Unless they have these systems that are like extremely unique. And they're like, woo, okay, I hit my goal on day 2. Yep, done. You're not gonna find those people. So let's see here. I jumped off of my notes. So let's see. Oh, actually, when I asked earlier in the chat, what are you doing today that will help the process to get results for your customers and ambassadors? That was because I wanted you guys to start thinking. And I know people probably weren't able to check that who are working, but if you saw that, did it hit you in a way that made you go, what am I doing that's going to help that process? Anytime I pop questions in there like that, that's the intent. I want you guys to have a spark of, okay, that's something to think on. It's not that you have to have an instant answer or some extra huge, creative, unique thing. It's, okay, let's give some thought to this. Maybe there is something that I can change and do a little different. So when we obsess over the process, we're going to work with a whole lot more calmness and clarity. And again, fluidity. It's just going to flow. Not to mention, we're going to be able to train our team with those same things so much more easily because it's doable. It's not like you have to be a high achiever in order to be able to do this, or you have to have energy levels that are way up here for like 3 months in order to be able to keep up. No, we're going on the slow and steady. So like Carrie and I were talking earlier, right now we're planting. We're laying that foundation in order for spring to be more of when things really start happening. I believe that we are at that place where we need that foundation. So if you want to hash over with, if you're under Carrie or if you're under me, what you want to do, or if you haven't talked with us yet, let's focus on your goals specifically and what your process is specifically. And we can talk through that individually. Okay. So that's what I have tonight. No, I must review because that's what proper speakers do. Get focused, clearly define your wins, distance distractions, and obsess over the process. There, I'm officially a public speaker. All right, does anyone have any questions or any like, ooh, I would love to share this. You can just unmute yourself if you want to. But I think everyone's waving at Stephanie's little boy. Hi.
He loves to come see you guys, and so he wants